Now, as we've been reporting, Australia's biggest steelmaker, BlueScope Steel, will announce today it's axing at least 1,000 jobs.
Paul Howes is the National Secretary of the Australian Workers Union. He's on the road to Port Kembla in New South Wales, and he joins us now. Paul Howes, good morning. Obviously, if these reports are true, it'll have a devastating impact on communities like Port Kembla in New South Wales and Hastings in Victoria.
Absolutely, Michael. I know that BlueScope are making a formal announcement in the next hour or so, and I don't want to preempt that, but it's going to be a devastating day for Western Port and Port Kembla, but it's also going to be a devastating day for the entire Australian manufacturing industry. And, you know, for many years, the last 2 years, people have been predicting a crisis in manufacturing because of the Australian dollar, and that crisis is starting today.
Now, is it purely the dollar? Do you see that? Is the company justified in blaming the dollar for these job cuts?
What we have is a manufacturing industry in this country which has never been geared for a dollar above a parity. I mean, we've traditionally been geared for a dollar in the range of 50 to 85 cents, and that means that our export markets, and that's what BlueScope's announcement, I presume, will be about today, have completely dried up. BlueScope have previously said they're making the order of $600 million a year losses in their export markets because of the dollar and record high commodity prices, and this is the dark side to the resources boom. Our manufacturing industry can't compete when the dollar is as high as it is, and whilst instability reigns in North America and Europe, but also whilst we have a high commodity-based dollar, it means that we're going to have to substantially change our manufacturing industry if it is going to survive, and that will have to be geared towards domestic consumption.
And what action would you like the federal government to take to help preserve some of those remaining manufacturing jobs? Well,
the key point is this. Today there are about 1 million Australians who work in the manufacturing industry. About 200,000 that work in the resources. And so manufacturing, whilst it's not accounting for the terms of trade in the same way that resources is, it is still a key important part of our employment base. Now, if we're going to have a manufacturing industry that survives with a high Australian dollar, we have to have better local content requirements. And unfortunately, during the resources boom, we haven't seen large amounts of Australian steel or Australian componentry used in the resources sector. And that's because there has been strings attached to some foreign investment in the resources sector, but also we haven't had the policies right. I also believe that it's time for Australia to join growing international diplomatic efforts to get the Chinese to finally give a real value to their yuan. It's currently depreciated in the order up to 40%. That is creating havoc with our export market.
Okay. Paul Howes from the Australian Workers Union, thank you very much.